All right, and we are live. I mean, it's not going out live, but it's recording.
It's live now.
Yeah, it's happening.
It's
So,
yeah, live as we're recording. So
I feel like we should introduce you. You are Veterkist OG.
yeah, host of the Smoke Pit Storytime podcast and shit poster on Twitter.
Yeah, that I've been listening to your podcast, man. It's you've been
Oh,
doing some heavy ones
appreciate it. Yeah, kind of came out hard.
right out of the gate, swinging.
Just hope I don't pull a Dave Chappelle and set the bar too high straight off and then freak out.
Good point. Although, there's worse things to do than be like Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, I wish I could get that paycheck like that too.
Agreed. All right, so we were talking earlier before I clicked the button about how we both ended up in the like the Twitter agora circle, like the anarchists.
Right.
Um, I mean, I'm explaining it to them. I'm sure you remember it was like 2 seconds ago. And we both kind of got here because we were following this crazy man named Owen Benjamin. Um, I mean, I was following him since like 2016, way back when it was just you'd play the piano and we'd write funny songs about crazy leftists.
Yeah. Yeah, because was it his podcast was Why Didn't They Laugh, where he would analyze jokes, right?
Mm-hmm. Dude, that shit was epic when he would go through his old comedy sets and be like, well, what the fuck went wrong here when I bombed?
Yeah.
Um,
And that was kind of neat to watch his brain work. How to, you know, develop jokes or redevelop jokes and analyze what didn't work. And then he would show later on after he'd worked on the joke, then it would kill. That was pretty neat to watch that process.
Absolutely.
Um, I haven't watched any of his stuff in months. Probably close to a year.
I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
There was a real defining moment where I had him on the TV and it was like, he'd gone pretty crazy and it was hard to watch. But he was on some sort of rant and he was talking about how he cheated on his wife back in the day and my ex now, but at the time she was my girl and she heard that and she was just like, "What the fuck is he doing on the TV?" Because she knew like he's all about the like trad shit and then he's talking about that which is just like what.
Yeah. 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 I don't know what's going on with him. Um, but yeah, like I was telling you, like I first saw him. I used to watch Louder the Crowder, and he was on there. And then I guess they had a falling out, and then I don't even watch Louder the Crowder anymore either. Um, but I guess technically, Owen Benjamin was how I became a libertarian and an anarchist.
Yeah, the foot in the door.
Yeah. Because it was all about when he was on Dave Smith's show, and it was Dave Smith and Michael Malice doing an interview with Owen Benjamin, which was pretty cool. But yeah, started listening to Dave Smith and Michael Malice, and then found Pete Quinones, and then
At that
geez,
point you're racing.
Tom Woods and Bob Murphy, and then all that stuff, and I guess through Pete Quinones, finding the Biting the Bullet guys, and Matt from Status Quo, and Pat from Uncensored Tactical, and then those two guys, Matt and Pat, push. We're talk was talking with them, and I've been on both of their shows a couple times, and then finally pushed me to start my own show, which is weird.
You don't like just talking into the mic to hear your own voice.
I hate the sound of my own voice,
Yeah, it's pretty weird, man. The first
especially
two
when I get
episodes
tired.
Yeah, the first two episodes I did where there was nobody to talk to, it was just me talking about a random topic. Fuck, those are awkward, man.
Yeah. Yeah, especially like I don't drink anymore or anything like that, so I don't have anything to distract myself while I'm doing it.
I feel your pain. I've been sober here for, I guess I'm on day 61, and I'm keeping track to the day.
That's cool, man.
Eh, not not so much a choice, you
Yeah.
know.
Well, yeah, kind of me too. I kind of lost my privileges.
Oh yeah. Wait, I won't pry. That's
No,
not the
it's
kind of.
just I sometimes you drink and you lose track and you don't think you drank that much, but then you're like you're stinking drunk and you do say something stupid and get in trouble.
Yeah.
So yeah, that happened. So just talking to my wife and decided it was best I kind of take a break. And that was, when was that? That was I don't know what day it was. It was a couple months ago, but it's good.
Yeah, I mean sobriety's over underrated.
It
Yeah.
is. It's funny, like how like
Sorry, what?
it's weird. It's the sugar part that I didn't realize that my body was addicted to, was the sugar.
In
Um,
beer?
well, drinking like double IPAs all the time. But yeah, about, I don't know what, 3 weeks into it, I dropped like 25 pounds.
Damn.
Yeah, I drink a couple bombers every other night. That stacks up.
Yeah, it's like a loaf of bread or something.
Yeah, really. Yeah, drinking those what was it, Sierra Nevada torpedoes.
I never really had that problem. Weed does not, there's no calories in a bong rip.
No, that's true. That's why I'd rather do that. Cause at least I get some benefit from it. With the reduced inflammation and sleeping better, and
Absolutely.
the weed's pretty keto.
Yeah. It I mean, there's a point where it's not the best if it's your only 3 meals a day, then
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
you end up looking like a bit of a meth head. But
But was it like keto? They always talk about the fat bombs. It was like all like coconut oil and butter and like all that stuff. I'm like, make some edibles,
hey, that's a good point actually.
dude. Keto edibles.
Keto edibles. Fuck, now there's a market.
I'm telling you.
Dude, that's clever as shit.
How are you now?
How are you now, bud? I enjoy that you're into Letterkenny. I'm actually gonna write that shit down. Keto edibles
Yeah, because you guys are legal up there in Canada.
in Canada,
Yeah.
Kanakistan.
It's fun. Although I heard that like the government's still hassling people. There was some like pet edible place that got raided.
Oh, I mean they try. They've put the crazy regulations in place to, like they legalized the plant, but they put a certain number you're allowed to grow and you're only allowed to do certain things with it. So like last summer I was just balling out of control and I had like I think I was at like 60 plants at one point, which is a
Yikes.
stupid thing for me to be putting on the internet, but I don't give a fuck. What are they gonna do? Get me in the past?
They
Um,
they'll try.
well, I mean, I guess, but I always have the argument that like even before it was legal here, I was growing because of when I fell off the roof. Um, I got injured, and then like it was either I was gonna smoke weed, which I had, just laying around, or I was gonna take all their fucking morphine, you know,
Yeah, that
and
stuff's nasty.
it just didn't seem like a hard decision. And fuck, I still have half a bottle of those pills they gave me, the T3s and the codeine and the tramadol.
Oof. Yeah, I'm allergic to codeine, so pretty
Oof.
much have to take straight up morphine.
Yeah, I've been there, man. Fuck.
But yeah, it's funny. You, with the cannabis, it'll reduce inflammation and definitely helps with pain, and then also makes you not want to kill yourself.
Yeah, it makes you feel normal.
Yeah, that's what I told a friend. I was telling my wife one time. I was like, I don't do it now, and I've done it a couple times over the last couple of years. Just like if I got like wicked stressed out, like I was working this one job and it was crazy. It's for a German company, and we all know how Germans can be.
Yeah.
And I was just standing at my toolbox, felt like I was gonna have a heart attack. And then like my buddy, he's like, "Bud, what's going on?" I'm like, "I think I'm having a heart attack." He goes, "Seriously?" I'm like, "I don't know, I'm just stressed out." He's like, "Well, hold one, man." He goes, "Stop by the car on the way out." I'm like, "All right." I stop by his car and hands me a cookie. He's like, "Eat this when you get home, man." I'm like, "All right, what is it?" He goes, "Open when you open it, you'll know what it is."
Smells like hash.
Dude, I ate that cookie after dinner. It was like on a Friday night. I remember like about 45 minutes to an hour later, it was like that moment in Die Hard where he gets to the hotel, he starts putting his toes in the carpet, and he's like, "Son of a bitch was right." And I started laughing. I was like, "Oh man, I don't give a fuck about nothing right now. It's great."
That's the right result.
Yeah, watched some cartoons, had a snack, went to sleep, woke up feeling like I could conquer the world.
No hangover.
None, dude. Woke up feeling more rested than I had in a long time. I actually had another buddy of mine, um, veteran guy, um, and he was going through some issues, and his wife actually hooked him up, and
It's a good woman.
yeah, and he wrote me, so he was like, "Dude, he goes, for the first time in a long time, I've gotten relief," and he's like, "I was laughing and crying at the same time."
Just pulled the plug and all the shit drains out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just told him, I was like, "Yeah, just make sure, just don't let that." He's like, he goes, "I feel so happy." I'm like, "That's good." I was like, "But don't let that be the thing that makes you happy. Use it for what it is. It's a tool. It's medicine. Use it to sort out whatever you need to sort out, and then move on."
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of why I stopped. I mean, two reasons. I stopped because I was just overusing it, you know, at a certain point.
It's easy to do too.
Absolutely. If you gotta, if you, well, I mean, I supplied my own. So if you just have an abundance of it laying around, um, and then that kind of leads you into B, which is like, I stopped for a job because I need to pass a bunch of drug tests. But the hardest part about stopping smoking weed is that you just, at no point are you like, I should not be doing this, you know? It always seems like a good idea. There's so little downside,
Right. It's yeah.
which is a
That's what
strange way to be addicted to something.
right, because you're like, it's not gonna kill me. It's not.
Yeah,
My feet hurt, my back hurts. I know it's gonna fix
exactly.
that, you know.
Although there is something to be said about the sleep. It's totally strange, but when I quit, a couple weeks after that, like I started having dreams, like I was remembering dreams.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, it does something to you when you're asleep, but is that bad or good? Who knows?
I don't know. What's weird is that, a lot of people say that it messes with your memory, and I guess it does, but I actually remembered stuff more.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure I buy that memory thing. My memory's always been pretty similar my whole life. I got a bad
Yeah.
short-term memory, but I got a strange good long-term memory.
Yeah, I think what a lot of it is if you're a dumbass to start with, you're gonna be a dumbass when you're smoking weed too.
Exactly. It's kind of like booze, right?
Yeah, yeah. Although I don't know, man. I've seen booze change people's um personality. Like they'll be the happiest go lucky person, and then you see that they get stage 3 and they're freaking nuts.
What's stage
Uh,
three?
Oh, when they're on the table and wanting to fight everybody.
Oh, right.
Just like go crazy. Never see anybody do that when they're smoking weed. They're usually just laughing at silly shit and hunting for your Doritos.
I don't know. Some people I've seen go a little bit psycho.
Hmm.
Take a bong rip too many. Although usually that just makes you start to throw up.
Yeah. I remember when I was in high school, and this is back in the 90s. So it was different then, man. You could smoke yourself sober. And yeah, now, man, it's a whole nother ball game.
Not wrong.
I hit that shit one time. I'm like, and I heard this dum, 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 and I'm like, oh my god, it's a helicopter. And then I started looking out the windows, like freaking out. And then I was like, wait, that's my heartbeat in my ears. Oh, you retard, go have a snack and sit down.
Yikes, man.
So sativa.
That could have been indica. That could very well have been indica.
I think it was a Thai haze or something.
Some sort of crazy hybrid. Those are man, I've got these hybrid seeds where it's sativa indica, but it's mixed by this medical genetic guy. He's Ed Rosenthal from Amsterdam.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
he was in charge of like the Amsterdam medical, like way back in the day, in the 90s when it was legal there, but not legal anywhere else.
yeah. Didn't
Uh,
he? Wasn't he part of like doing like the super silver haze and like all that stuff?
yeah, man. So he is the guy in Amsterdam that got his hands on all of the California and New York strains, like the illegal ones that they got
Right.
to Amsterdam, and then he started crossbreeding everything. So I'm pretty stoked to plant those seeds, but currently I've just got 10 of them sitting in a little baggie.
Yeah, I wish. Like I said, I don't do anything now, but I do wish it was legal and just like most things the government are involved in, it's just leave it alone. I'd
Yeah,
like
they
to.
have
I like to
they
be
have
able
a
to still
talent to screw everything up, man.
totally. Yeah, they're literally the fun police.
Dude, they're bad at everything. It's amazing. Justin Trudeau legalized marijuana and still loses money.
Dude, only the state could
Only the
selling
government.
dope. Yeah.
Only the government.
Well, it's like Vermont here. Well, now they're about to screw it up too, but they basically just decriminalized it. And it's just like, were we going to open up stores? They're like, no, just sort it out. It's just not illegal anymore.
I kind of like that actually, because that means that the black market just changed color, right?
Yeah,
Um,
but there's no stores. It's just
well, there will be.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But they were just saying, yeah, it's just not illegal anymore. But I think their little tax antennas are popping up, and now they're gonna put a whole bunch of regulations and tax it and screw it up and figure out a way that they can still put people in jail over it.
Dude, they fucked it up here so hard. I mean, I'd be embarrassed, but it's absolutely what I expect from the government.
Oh, it's just another form of prohibition.
Well, I mean, they did legalize it, so it's okay to grow it, but you're only allowed to grow a certain number.
Yeah,
And like it's laughable. They say you're only allowed four plants, but if you want to get four good plants producing,
like
that pretty
four in
much, sorry, what?
veg or four total.
Four total. See, that's what I'm saying. If you want four total to be producing in flower, that means you're going to have at least one veg mother where you took the clones from, right?
Right.
And keeping one in veg is just like, why would you roll those dice? You want a couple in veg in case one dies off for some unforeseen reason.
Yeah, I think like Michigan here. I think it's Michigan. You can have like 20 per adult in the house.
Dang.
And I think Oklahoma here, um, they pretty much made it wide open.
That's
And
how
then
it should be.
yeah, and then they attached a couple more laws, which I was like, oh, great, what's that going to be like? And it's like So they legalized it, did medical adult use. Then they also passed a law saying wherever you're allowed to smoke cigarettes, you can smoke that. And then they passed another law saying that um, basically protecting people's right to like firearms and stuff because of being federal here, still federally illegal. If you like had a I've seen a lot of
Possession
states.
charge or
Well, yeah. Well, it's like if you had a medical card and you had a a concealed carry permit, they'd basically show up to take all your stuff. And so Oklahoma put a law saying, nope, one does not affect the other. Suck it.
way to go, Oklahoma.
And I was like, dude, really, Oklahoma? They're the ones, it's like they looked at every state and said, okay, that sucks, that sucks, that's good, that's good. Okay, we'll just do that.
Fucking Canada.
Yeah. Can't believe old Trudeau got reelected. That's funny.
Yeah.
You think it's just like a
Tranny
bunch of like,
Drew.
you think it's just like a bunch of like teenage girls and the girls in their 20s that just think he's cute? You think that's why they got him reelected?
Dude, I don't even want to get started on fucking Canadian federal elections. It's such a kick in the face. Fucking in our country, man, when we vote federally, they they do it like they do it by time zone, obviously, right? Because the East, it's later in the day before the West, obviously. And so like the Maritimes vote, and then Quebec and Ontario vote, and then slowly it trickles to the West, and we all keep voting, right? And then they start counting, and it's just it's I mean it's typical, right? But you watch the votes come in, and by 5 p.m., before they're even counting Alberta, Saskatchewan, BC, the votes decided because of the number of people in Quebec and Ontario and the Maritimes.
Bunch of hosers.
Fuck's sakes, man. I mean, that's why there's such a big movement out here to separate from the East. Because,
Hell yeah, secession, baby. Because yeah, it's because you, like you're saying, I don't even know if I'm gonna vote this year. I don't know. I don't care anymore. I'm gonna
dude,
watch
I
what.
regret voting last time. I am just ashamed that I did it.
Well, I wouldn't be ashamed. It's just
Well, I mean, I kind of bought into it. There was this new guy up here. He started a new party. He got kicked out of the Conservatives, which is like probably hard for you to understand because we don't have a two-party system. You know how you guys have your Democrat Republican thing and it's just head to head?
well, they're kind of the same.
Well, yeah, of course, all politicians.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But we have like five or some shit, right?
Right.
And it's pretty much always just the liberals versus the conservatives, so red versus blue, pretty much just like your Democrats and Republicans, except then there's always like the attrition to the other little parties like the NDP and the Greens. And so last election, what we had was this guy that was in the Conservative Party forever called Max Bernier, and there was an election within the Conservative Party, like kind of like you know how the Democrats are trying to elect Bernie or one of the other motherfuckers to be their leader.
Right.
They had that in our conservatives, and this guy lost 49% to 51%, and he
Ooh.
he got kicked out because he didn't support the cartels. Like we have like a dairy cartel and a poultry cartel, and like
Oh yeah,
I
we do too.
yeah. And so this guy was saying, we're not going to keep subsidizing that. We'll end their monopoly. And so these people lobbied and they got Andrew Scheer elected in the Conservatives, right?
Hmm.
And so he was like, fuck this. The Conservative Party isn't conservative anymore. I'm going to go start my own. And I don't know. It struck me as kind of like a libertarian party. I figured a lot of people would be on board. And so I voted, right? And it was like a blip. There is like 0.1% people voted for him. And I don't know. I don't know why I'm surprised. That's just politics for you.
Yeah, it was kind of like you know who Larry Sharp is.
Yeah, I think I follow him on Twitter.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's a libertarian guy, and he ran for governor of New York. and like super smart guy, you know, he's the one that said that weed should be regulated like onions.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah, he's like, you put onions in your backyard, you put weed in your backyard, forget about it. And he just said it because it's just such a stupid thing. He says so many things that the government is a part of that they have no business being a part of. And it seemed like he was going to do pretty good, but then, you know, New York being what New York is, New York City, New York, pretty much decides what the rest of the state does. So, um, yeah, I think he only got like 2% of the whole state.
Fucking politics, dude.
Big gay.
Big gay. Um, yeah. So like last summer when I had like 60 plants, I was way over my legal limit, but nobody came and gave me shit about it. Like at one point I had more than my legal limit sitting on the porch, you know, just in full view. Um, I don't know. It doesn't seem like the cops are chasing it down anymore.
Probably not. I mean, really, to me, it just seems like it was to enforce that at this point. It's just more trouble than it's worth.
Well, and plus then I get to play my injury card and I'm like, I use it for medicine. Who are you to say I can't? Are you going to go make
Right.
me pay for it? You know what I mean?
True. I mean, I've got my own views on law enforcement, but if I were them, I'd be like, you know what, good. I don't have to worry about this stupid crap anymore. I can go focus on real things with victims.
Giving people tickets for going 10K over in a speed zone that was lobbied in by some rich fucking landowner. Pissed me off, man.
Yeah, as much as things are different, they're really kind of the same between Canada and US. I think it's government's government, no matter where you're at. And like no matter where you live, your government sucks.
Unless you go to Somalia, man. Fuck.
drink, drink.
Drink. Absolutely. So you are down in the States and it's illegal. But in hypothetical situation, if you were to grow, um, and like hypothetically you had all the seeds and genetic supplies,
Mhm.
where do you think you would start off with that? Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So you mean like my dream garden?
Yeah, exactly. Let's go fantasy land.
Okay. So I haven't sketched this out on paper or anything at all, but I like growing my own vegetables too. And so basically it'd be almost like an ornamental garden, but I'd have like all like tomatoes and cucumbers and like all that stuff, right? And then in the center, in like a star pattern, would be where the plants were, and then it'd have like marigolds and everything else outlining that to keep the bugs away from everything.
Good call. And the cats?
And then, oh no, no cats.
Well, cats hate marigolds.
Oh really? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
this
good.
smell, man.
Yeah, good. Tons of marigolds. Then I'm allergic to cats. But
Interesting profile picture.
yeah, I know, right? I forget even how that started. I think I changed that because of that meme. That's what it was.
Dude, that meme's so fucking funny.
And then yeah, I think it was like New Year's. They're like, yeah, you can't use that meme anymore. I'm like, screw you, I do what I want. And then
Thought
someone,
police.
yeah, and then someone messaged me and they had the same profile picture. So I was like, go do your own thing, bro. So I put the glasses on it the other day. I'm just too lazy to change it.
Sorry about that fucking phone going off. I'll mute that shit.
Now it's me too. Um, but yeah, so I was thinking like everything would be raised beds because where I'm at is the soil is kind of clay like. So I'd build like raised beds, and then I was gonna have a fence around it but the fence was going to be like 4 feet high, and I'd use that, like that Trex decking for the
Yeah, yeah.
sides, and then have like the post coming up, and then chain link, like black chain link for airflow, but so the deer and stuff can't get in.
Those rat bastards.
I know, but hey, but if I did feed them that stuff, then they'd be full of CBD, and that would be good eating.
Dude, I've actually heard about people that are feeding pot to pigs.
Oh yeah, well, it's the
Yeah.
guy that was running for governor here, the libertarian guy. He was like, "Yeah, we should be growing hemp like crazy." He's like, you know, put it in the in between the interstates and stuff. He goes, farm it. And he goes, for the seeds and everything like that. And he goes, then feed the seeds to the chicken instead of corn, and then all your chicken would be super healthy and full of CBD.
Not to mention omega-3 and all the other incredibly good shit that's in hemp seeds.
Dude, the profile on that stuff is crazy. You just got to be really careful what you grow it in, because that stuff will pull heavy metals and all kinds of crazy shit out of the soil.
Oh, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about that. Um, but yeah, there's a there's a thing in Canada. It's called Overgrow Canada. It's kind of where I ripped this name off of. There's this crazy dude in BC that he will mail you 100 CBD seeds, and it's not hemp. Like it'll actually grow decent bud, but it's
Yeah,
not like THC bud. It's CBD
right.
bud, and it's specifically a strain that will survive in Canada. So what he's
That's
trying to
cool.
do is he's trying to get people to go put it exactly like you're saying, like in the interstate or in like a forest or in a park or some shit, and he's trying to make it a native species.
That's awesome.
Like dandelions.
Yeah, you could do that with like autoflowers.
Ugh, hate autoflowers.
I heard there's some new, like the stuff that's out now is supposed to be pretty good.
I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong. Autoflower, it's not all garbage like it used to be.
Like, 'cause I remember Lowrider.
Yeah, Lowrider was the OG. That was when they first crossed Ruderalis with I think it was a sativa, and they
Yeah,
got like a really decent result that was autoflower. But I just hate autoflower because you can't clone it. It
right.
I don't know. It does what it wants. It'll just flower it whatever the fuck size it wants.
Yeah,
It's not like I don't hate it for any good reason. I'm just like I want to be a mad scientist with this shit. I want to manipulate it and get it to do what I want.
that's
And
true.
and autoflower is just never gonna listen.
No, no. I, it'd be a fun way to start out.
I don't
Um,
know about that, man, because you lose so much of the learning curve, right? So like the learning curve on autoflower is plant it, watch it grow, and then harvest it. But the actual learning curve on weed is plant it, tend it through veg, decide when you want it to flower, change your lighting schedule so that it will flower, and then, I don't well, take clones before it flowers. Like there's just so much that you miss out if you start with an autoflower.
yeah. Well, I guess, like I said, I've never grown it, so I have no idea. And I always wanted, if I could, I'd always wanted to do it outside. But I
That's
guess,
the upside of autoflower. They'll
yeah,
they'll
I guess you could
finish
do.
outdoors.
I guess you could do both.
What do you mean?
You could grow, um, if you knew that they were all female and there's not going to be like weird things going on. Guess you could do, photo period and autos.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, a lot of people do autos just because they finish so fast.
Yeah, just to have something to tide you over.
Exactly. And but I don't know. Like if you're just starting out and you had to pick one kind of seeds, I would avoid autoflower like the plague. Because I mean, unless you are doing it outdoors, which is, I mean, where are you?
I'm
Not
in
to
the south.
dox you.
I'm in the southeast.
Southeast. So like Florida-ish.
Yeah,
Shit, man. You don't need autoflower. You could easily pull off sativas.
Yeah, it just takes a long time.
Oh yeah, way, way longer. I had one plant that took 100 days in flower.
Good Lord.
That doesn't even count veg. It was probably in veg for like 60 days. And then it took 100 days to flower
Yeah. Well, there's some hybrids that are finishing like 60 to 70 days now.
from seed.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're but that's depending on like optimal conditions, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Shoot, man, if I was down in the southeast, the things I would do outdoors, it's very tempting. Um, we kind of lost track here. So your garden there, it would be star pattern, fences around to keep the deer out,
Yeah.
ornamental, lots of veg around the outside, and then your however many number of plants you got on the inside.
Yeah, probably like 4 or 5.
And this is outdoors.
Yeah.
Decent.
Where I could see it from my back deck.
Would you set up irrigation on that?
Nah.
It's pretty easy, man.
Yeah, but I like getting out there and doing things.
Good point. Good point.
I definitely. Oh, I forgot there'd be a all glass greenhouse too.
No, dude, you want a double layer poly greenhouse.
Yeah, but the glass greenhouses with the black frame just look cool.
Oh, they're incredibly classy.
Like that classic like English type look.
Gothic with like the arch.
Yeah, yeah,
Dude, I mean, I guess we are in like gonzo fantasy land.
for
I
sure.
I shouldn't be recommending
I like
you
that
know,
fancy shit.
down to basics. I don't know, man. If I
But you
had
ever
any sorry,
you ever
carry
go
on.
on you ever go on Pinterest?
No, I don't know what that is. I
Oh
mean, I
gosh.
know it's some sort of app for like pictures, but I've just never really figured out the point.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of like design and food, and my wife is the one that turned me on to it because she used to be in design, like house design and stuff. So she likes going there for that. But yeah, there's a lot of like there's it's like a call it digital hoarding, but you, there's all kinds of rabbit holes to go down there, like picture wise and articles, and sometimes I'll just get on there and I'll type in like snow covered cabin, and like I'll
Yeah,
just pull up all pictures of that stuff. It's
just
kind of
some
cool.
sort of like earth porn, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I love that kind of stuff.
Living vicariously.
Yep. Like there'll always be this picture of this moss covered cabin, and I'm thinking it's probably like Norway, but it's like in this little fjord, and it's springtime, so it's all green. And, you see the water and stuff. Like, man, that looks rad.
Fucking, and meanwhile, we are all trapped working a 9 to 5 to pay for the house we live in so that we can keep going to our 9 to 5.
Yeah, keep paying that tax money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tax cattle. That's what we are.
Man, it's so fucking apparent. Like, as soon as you look into trying to get away from being a cog in those gears, you realize there is no deviation from that. You are stuck.
Oh yeah, especially when you start talking about how you want to get out of it, and people just look at you like you're growing a horn out of your forehead, and they're gonna burn you as a witch or something.
Or if you're telling them about how you think that everybody should be free and that taxation's theft,
Yeah.
it's
It's
wild,
like you're
man.
an extremist. I'm like, why? Because I want you to be free. I want you to be left alone to live your life. Yeah, that's terrible.
Fucking, if that's what being an extremist is, count me in.
Yeah.
Bujahideen.
Oh man. Yeah,
I don't,
you see the news writing all their fiction on that stuff now too.
it's so funny. They're 3 or 4 months behind, man.
Oh, longer than that. Like we quit calling it that like last year.
Well, I mean, they're acting like it's still the beginning of that Virginia crisis or whatever, right?
Yeah, and they're trying to make it sound like it's like they always do. It's like the white supremacist is like their boogeyman. I'm like, I'm almost 40 years old. I've met one skinhead who I got in a fight with. And yeah, that's the only time I've lived in the South. I've lived all over the world, really, and different countries and things like that. And I've never met a white supremacist. I'm sure there's like probably a couple hundred somewhere, but
Dude, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've met a bunch of them up here.
mm,
There's some good old KKK boys in them Rocky Mountains in Alberta.
oh
But
wow,
oh yeah, dude. I met one guy with white power and swastika tattoos.
yeah, I'm sure
Uh,
there's a lot. Yeah.
some fucked up retarded shit, dude. But
Oh yeah, they're
the
all idiots.
funniest thing is how they try to paint like the Boogaloo people as that. Like
Right.
like fucking we got people of every sort of background. I mean, probably not very many city folk, but like it's not a white person thing. It's just people
Not
that
at
dislike the
all.
government.
It's an anti-authoritarian thing. Um, it, you saw the reporting on the Virginia rally,
Yeah.
and they were trying to say, I was like, oh, it's all these white males. Da, da, da. I'm like, man, that crowd was more diverse than the news crews that were reporting on it.
I honestly don't get the whole like it's almost always the left that's pointing out what race people are. And am I wrong? Or in the 90s when I was growing up, was that not like taught to be a bad fucking take? You know? I'm am I wrong or are we supposed to kind of not be looking at what color people are,
Well,
you
yeah.
know?
Well, what I've learned is that people that are racist are typically the ones that are obsessed with race.
It's just fucking crazy, man. They point out
Yeah.
everybody's race like that's the defining factor of what they're saying and not what they're
Yeah.
saying.
Right. Right. I mean, like, yeah, I see color. I see black, white, whatever. I just don't care. Are you an asshole or not?
Exactly. Yeah. Like,
Do you
don't
want to?
put that as the first word in the sentence where you start describing them, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like, do you want to use the power of the government to, you know, bring violence to me and my family? No? Okay, we can be friends. Yeah,
Yeah.
get away from me.
I mean, I wasn't saying I don't see color. I mean, fuck, of
Oh yeah,
course.
yeah, yeah. But like people are like, I'm colorblind. You're a liar.
It's fucking crazy, man.
You're nothing more
Racism used to
racist.
be people that hated other races for being other races, but now
Right.
it's people that acknowledge there's any difference between different people, different
Yeah.
cultures. They scream racist at you, and it's like, are you kidding me? I'm
What What's hilarious is that you'll see some like little upper middle class white liberal telling a black person that they're wrong because they don't feel oppressed. Like, that's the most racist shit I've ever seen in my life.
yeah,
I'm like, yeah, why don't you tell him how he should feel? That, yeah.
yeah. Your perspective's right. You definitely know. Fucking, we live in a crazy time, man.
Dude, it's just people just need to chill the hell out, smoke a bowl.
Go fucking garden some shit.
That's right. Grow your own food. That's what me and Jared from Biting the Bullet did that episode. How I just had a theory that people with soft hands, there's a correlation between people with soft hands and dependence on the government. But
I
what I
might.
kind of what I was meaning by that, because you got to moisturize sometimes, but uh, just people that don't do things for themselves, that you know they've outsourced every aspect of their lives for someone else to do it. Um,
Oh, dude, I know exactly what you mean.
yeah, they do the
Fucking,
same thing with their rights too.
I was working on a for a hunting guide, and he had this land on Hutterite land, and it was wild, man. These Hutterites would show up in this fucking big old F-350, and like six of them would clown car pack out of it. And then they'd come shake your hand, and it was like shaking hands with a brick. You
Yeah.
know, like their fingers are an inch and a half wide, and they're just like you could cut them with a knife and it wouldn't bleed. Some hard working people.
It's like that's some choking motherfucker hands.
Those are put your hand on a machine and turn a bolt, you know.
Yeah.
Although I don't mean to sound like I'm supporting the Hutterites, those goddamn Hutterites.
Well, who are they?
Hutterites, it's like, do you not have Hutterites in America? Interesting. They're kind of like Amish people, but they're not,
Oh,
they don't run around in like horse wagons, and
yeah.
like they use cell phones and they use big old combines and everything. Um, I'm against them because it's not fucking fair, man. They outcompete people from the normal world. Like I was working for this company where we did metal siding and like metal roofing, and we bought all of our supplies from a Hutterite colony, and it just struck me as really fucked up because the Hutterites kind of use slave labor, right? Because they don't pay their people. Their people just work for them. Their kids work for them, and they all pile their money. I mean, it's a
So they're
strange example of communism, to be
I was
honest with
about
you,
to say that's what it sounds like.
dude. It's weird, but it's like it's super capitalist because they're actually kicking ass at it, and their farms are growing. Their machines are just the biggest machines available. They've got all the money in the world, and like they're the best place to buy sheet metal products because
Do they have like some sort of special tax status too?
I'm pretty sure they do,
That's probably the key right there.
dude. It's off-putting to see them doing better than people from the normal world. It's like, how the fuck did we fall this far that the culties are doing better than us?
Yeah.
I
It'd
mean,
be nice if like everyone had that same opportunity.
right? There is no opportunity like that, though. Fuck. The only
Yeah.
way you can do anything similar to that is take like $200,000 of student loans to go become like a lawyer, right?
Ugh. Yeah, that's nah. Then you're just perpetuating the system.
Man, we lived in a fucked up fucking time.
I think it's always been screwy though, man.
Do you not think it got a little bit crazier recently?
I just think it's more out there in the open because everyone can has a phone and can put it on social media immediately.
I think you're probably right about that, but I don't know, man. It seems like everything's kind of ratcheted up a long way.
Well, I think culturally you're probably I think you're probably right. I think everyone is a victim, or not everyone, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
Um, it's cool to be a victim now.
yeah.
And
The
so
woke police.
yeah, it's like the oppression Olympics. Everybody's trying to go for the gold.
Yikes.
And we're over here just like, we just want to be left alone.
Dude, I'm
Yeah.
literally a disabled person, you know? Like they
But
want
you're
to
what?
talk about,
But you're cis white, so it cancels out.
oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm fucked. I don't know. It strikes me as really fucking weird that an 18-year-old can go sign up for like $200,000 of student loan debt to go to a university. But if you are that same 18-year-old and you want to go buy a piece of land and start like, you know, a little whatever tree farm, pig farm, you name it, anything that produces some sort of actual product, they won't lend you 10 grand.
No.
That's not a thing.
Well, I'm sure that there is corporate farming interest that like most big business industries lobby and get probably write the legislation for the legislators to try to keep out stuff like that.
I'm pretty sure you're right about that.
Yeah, I forget who I was talking with the other day. It's like, in the States here, um, you've got Walmart and Amazon that are lobbying for a $15 minimum wage. And I'm like, if they really believed in it, why don't they just go ahead and do it? And I'm like, they don't believe in it. They could afford to do it, but what they would rather do is petition the government to do it on their behalf. So
Cripple their competition.
exactly. But
Corporatism.
yes, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, fucking. I got a meme about the 5 steps of corporatism. I was reading it when I was talking to Matt from the Status Quo.
Yeah, love Matt.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He's fucking a clever human being.
Dude, he's wicked smart.
It's kind of crazy how many people that used to be in the military ended up in the like Twitter anarchy circle.
I know, man. It's crazy. It's fun as hell. Um,
I mean, you're right up there.
up there where,
Well, in the circle of
oh,
vets, like
oh
the
yeah,
verified.
oh yeah, yeah. It's just I don't know, a bunch of assholes, and I just fit right in because I'm one too.
I don't even know how I got there.
Because we like you.
Appreciated.
We needed a Canadian.
Yeah, I'm the token like lunatic Canuck.
Yeah, that's what I sent you that Boogaloo Canuck
Yeah, yeah,
boys, Canuck
Canuck
boy.
boys. Filled with absolute rage.
Yeah, sorry about this, bud.
That's such an accurate meme too.
Dude, that was the funniest shit. I was like, I gotta send this to Josh. And then you had already seen it. I'm like, shit.
Oh, dude, I can't remember when I Cecil the Fleabag. That guy is a legend. I think he might be
Dude,
Canadian too.
he's funny as shit, man. There's so many of them, dude.
He
They're
posted
just
that in one of Skip's Boogaloo threads, and I saw it, and I just died laughing. I was like, "That's 100% accurate."
who is Skip?
Skip is the free rifleman,
Yeah, okay, Collapsitarian 15.
collapsitarian. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I just didn't know his name was Skip.
He's
Yeah,
like the Godfather.
yeah, I go back and forth with him all the time. He's awesome. He's Isn't he the one that started the whole Boogaloo thing?
I don't know. I don't know where that originated, but I'm
I don't know.
pretty sure he was one of the
The
you know,
early,
the early spreaders.
yeah, and he's
Like,
definitely not a white supremacist. Like, definitely not.
no, man. That's just a ridiculous claim they try to tar and feather us with.
Yeah, um, yeah. NPR did an article a couple weeks ago too, saying the same shit. I'm like, yeah, I read through this newest article. I'm like, this is every paragraph is just repeating the previous paragraph, and I'm like, you're just making this shit up completely.
Although I mean, it's interesting because there's definitely kind of I mean, there on 2 ways. There are people that actually believe that shit that are kind of joining, and then there are people that are trying to poison the well, like a fake
Sure.
where they come in and they spread that kind of shit. They talk about the Jews and all this dumb fucking shit, and some idiots buy into it and they spread it, but most of the people are just like, get the fuck out of here, and they start arguing. But either way, it gets a hell of a lot of attention, and it poisons the well of all of the rest of us, right?
Yeah, someone had made a really good meme about that too. It was it was like Samuel L. Jackson was like the picture. And it was like the Boog boy, like I said, the Boogaloo boys were like, oh, I guess it's about to kick off. And it says white supremacists. Yeah, we finally get to do the and then it was like Boog boys. I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
uh, it's fucked that they think we're aiming for some sort of like civil war, when really all we want is fucking pioneer type chicken farm where we support ourselves and nobody fucks with us.
Yeah, it was just, and we want that for everyone.
Exactly.
And then like whenever we talk about it, it's like we talk about how we don't want that that scenario to happen. Like
When
at
I
all.
think about the Boogaloo, man, that's not at all what I think about. I think about the Boogaloo more like the collapse, the
Yeah.
bubble finally breaking and the supermarkets going dry. And I mean, that's kind of why I always associate the Boogaloo with the collapse, because most of the time when they're talking about it, they're talking about ways to prepare to keep yourself
Yeah.
alive, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely, I don't think I from my perspective, yeah. I mean, it's no different than like the prepper stuff that's been going on forever.
Yeah,
It's like,
survivalists.
yeah, it's just, and some of those dudes get freaking weird. Don't get me wrong, but
Absolutely. It's like Owen Benjamin all over.
well, there's, I mean, there's guy. Well, of course, if they make a TV show about it, it's just kind of like whenever you see on the news, they find the most ignorant freaking person that they can put in front of the camera to talk to, and you're like, why are you talking to this? That guy's an idiot. Of course, you want to talk to him, but yeah, some people just get a little bit weird. And then some guys or some people just want to use it as an excuse just to buy a bunch of gear. And you'll find most of them on forums. And then there's other people that are just like, hey, you know what? It's probably not a bad idea to have a generator, some food and a way to purify water. And, someone will go, well, you think like the system's going to collapse? I'm like, I don't know, maybe. Or maybe we just have like a really bad storm and, you know, power's out for a week or two. And sure would be nice to not have all our food spoil and a way to keep warm and cook and be relatively comfortable until
You
we,
don't say.
yeah, you know,
Or fucking just look at what they did in California, man. They shut off everybody's power for I don't know how long, quite a while. And they did it for no reason, they just pulled the switch. They said they needed to do maintenance.
yeah, there's always some weird security stuff going around. And I don't know. I mean, I can put a conspiracy hat on with the best of them,
Agreed. I
but
try not to get real dark about that, but that California shit really freaked me out, man. That's an area where most of the food that people in North America eat is shipped through, and all of their warehouses went, you know, I would say cold, but cold is what they want. All their warehouses thawed out, and we lost all of that food. And meanwhile, 2019 was probably one of the worst years for agricultural output because the summer was just freaky pretty much everywhere, you know?
yeah, yeah, it was hot as balls here.
Dude, the weather's fucking weird the last 2 years.
Yeah, but I remember it doing this about. It seems like it goes in like 10-year cycles.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, I don't want to put like some sort of crazy apocalypse hat on and be like, the world is ending, the climate is fucked. But personally, as a guy that was trying to find where plowing snow, it is quite obvious that in the last 2 years around here, shit has gone really haywire.
Yeah, yeah. I remember when I moved to where I'm at now, and I lived on the coast. And after I got out of the army, I moved to the beach, and I think there was like 5 tropical storms like in a row. And I asked my neighbors, like, "Is that normal?" He's like, "No, not at all." I'm like, that's really weird. They're like, "Yeah, but it happened like 10, 15 years ago too." So like, oh, okay. And then like 2010, I moved to Georgia, and then we had like a really rad like snowstorm for Georgia. And I was like, man, that's really weird. And then it happened again in February. I'm like, okay, that's really strange. But then I can remember like back in 2000, it did that then, like exactly the same thing. So I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? But what I do know is it's a good time to build a greenhouse. You know,
Yeah, my dad just did that.
it's
He's like, he said he said we canned everything we could can, and he goes, and because he just switched over, I talked him into switching over to organic, like farming, like regenerative, like living soil type stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, he did that 2 years ago. And he's like, I remember the first time he did it, it was kind of, the dirt was kind of hot. And, but, he said, he goes, dude, he goes, I got tomatoes like 3 weeks early. He goes, and they're the size of softballs.
Living soil is nothing to fuck with. It's amazing what that little micro life will do.
Yeah. I was like, well, before wintertime, overseed with like clover and, um, I sent him a list of stuff. And, it's funny how I even got into that. Um, but, and he did. He overseeded it and then just, kind of folded over the top. And I was like, don't till it, don't do any of that stuff. Just plant, tell him what to do. He said he hasn't really had to re-amend anything. He'll take a sample or a couple samples out of his beds and send them off to the school or the like the agricultural office, and they'll test it for him for like $10. And he's like, yeah, I haven't had to add anything in like a couple years. He goes, I just overseeded every winter and that's it. But he said they've got so much food they're giving it away.
That's uh that's the result you want.
Yeah. So
Sorry.
he's like,
Some crazy shit happening here. I don't know what the fuck that was all about.
we got ghosts.
Nah, my dog was just put into my room and locked up. I think there's people coming upstairs or something.
Oh, okay.
Who knows? She might start barking full head off. We'll have to pause or something.
That's fine. Yeah,
Um,
my pity came in the room last night when I was recording and laid down and started snoring.
that's hilarious, man.
Yeah. Well, I'll see if I can edit that out or not. Oh, I'll just leave it. Screw it.
My boy Buck the pity, he used to snore like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's funny. I'd never met a dog that snored.
Yeah, my boxer snored. She snored like a freight train.
It's that crazy weird little face they got.
Yeah, I miss that one. I wish her she passed away like 2 years ago. And
Rip.
yeah, for sure. That was a terrible night. Um she had a tumor on her artery, that the one that goes down their stomach, and that ruptured.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, at least it was fast.
Yeah, it's true. Then our other dog after that, he passed away like a month before we moved into this house, and he died of cancer. That
Uh,
sucked. That was terrible.
Bad luck, man.
Yeah, I put about $7,000 on a credit card trying to save his ass.
And it didn't work.
Nope. Yeah, but I tried. I owed it to him. I felt like, but if that ever happens again, I'm not going to go through all that shit because I don't want to put him through it.
Yeah, that's rough, man.
Yeah. Sorry to
Dogs
bring it.
are
Sorry to bring it down.
no, don't be sorry. I'm sorry for you, man. That's something that I am not prepared for. And I mean, like, what is the point of even trying to prepare? I'll never be able to prepare for that. Fucking my
No.
my girl, I got her when I was working on that hunting lodge on that Hutterite land,
Yeah, yeah,
and she's 7 now, and she's a big breed dog, and they don't live as long. So
yeah. That's what I was looking at. I said what are the healthiest large dog breeds, and I was like, pitties were number one.
well, basically, you don't want a purebred. A
No,
purebred is guaranteed to have some sort of like hip dysplasia, heart murmur, whatever. It's just
yeah, like Jack looks like a pit, but um, he's kind of like runty. I mean, he's like 65 pounds, but he doesn't have like a huge head, but he still has like that pitty shape. But like if you look at him from the side, you can definitely see like kind of like pointer in the way his snout's shaped.
it's a good mix.
Yeah. but like he'll run up in the wood, like the wood line, and like he did it the other day. He like did that pointer move,
With the paw.
yeah, and the tail straight out, and like I'm like, you're not that kind of dog, dude.
It's amazing
But
what dogs have just
yeah,
built into them, man.
yeah. But he had treed a squirrel. He was pointing at the tree. I thought that was pretty cool.
Good boy.
Yeah.
Dude, I took my, I mean, I probably shouldn't say this because it's not technically legal, but I took my dog out when I was bow hunting pheasant,
Hmm.
and she had never, she'd never been hunting. I'd never trained her for anything. She was just, we were out for a walk, and I'd just built a longbow, and I was just, I was testing it out. I had a license for a couple pheasant, and I saw one, and lo and behold, I put an arrow through it, just perfect, pinned it, and she just went straight up, grabbed it, brought it back, laid it down at my feet, and looked up at me. And I couldn't. Oh, there you go. Now, why the fuck would they ring the doorbell? I hate that when people are coming over and you expect them, and then they ring the doorbell. Although I don't know, maybe that's why you have a doorbell.
Yeah.
What topic should we get back to? I feel like we've been kind of rambling, but rambling's good. I like rambling.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, freaking my main topic I was going to talk to you about was that Owen Benjamin stuff because that's like how we both kind of bumped into Twitter anarchy world.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and that was before I had changed my Twitter handle.
Yeah, way back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was at Brass Pear Bear and I just thought it was funny. And then I didn't know that there's a whole community online bear stuff that's not related to Owen Benjamin.
Oh, that other shit.
Yeah, and I got a couple weird DMs. I'm like, what the hell?
Dude, that's funny.
And I saw a buddy at work. He's like, yeah, because bear is like the whole, big burly gay dude thing. And he's like, and that's when I had my actual picture, and I've got a big ass beard.
I understand. Like, I get what you're putting down.
Yeah, I was like, I'm changing that shit.
I
And then I changed it because I had like my actual name in my picture, and it was weird. Like, uh, I think it was me and Luke, the mongoose, and I think we were talking about, yeah, it was like a whole bunch of veterans. We were talking about like anarchy and stuff like that, and we're like, veteran anarchist, and we're like, we should come up with a name for it. And I just started throwing out names, and like vetarchy was one of them, and like, and then I was like, you know what, I'll just change it to that. Screw it. So I changed it, and then I changed it to that damn cat that's my avatar now. And like 2 weeks later, I had like 200 and plus more followers.
just dove right in.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm saying the same shit that I've been saying. It's just I gotta, you know, the name. And I was telling Matt, like, isn't that stupid? He goes, it's branding, man.
You're not wrong, man. I
Yeah.
remember when I got banned.
Yeah.
Fucking, I made that alt, and I had that picture of that little cow,
Yeah.
and fucking,
Bird
I
of
got
B.
so many followers just because that picture is adorable.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. There's something to be said about having a little fuzzy animal.
You were wilding out though. You were having fun with that alt.
I like that alt. I still use it more often than my main.
Yeah.
It's I wish that that handle was available. Some asshole has Bird of Beef as their Twitter handle, and they haven't posted in like 8 years. I sent him a message. I said, "You fucker, delete your account. Give me the name."
That's crazy. Oh
Fuck.
man. Um, I forgot what I was gonna say. I lost my train of thought.
I totally lost my train of thought too. We were talking about Oh yeah, yeah, Owen Benjamin. So I kind of like that whole Owen Benjamin Unbearables thing. That happened after my name. Like I mean, like my name's been Bear my entire goddamn life, right? That's my last name.
Right.
It's just spelled wrong. But that it was really strange when Owen started doing that because then every single person in the chat had Bear at the end of their name. So it was like just a great big goddamn reunion of my cousins. It was really strange. It was a weird feeling.
Yeah, and
Um,
then he started getting a little weird and started banning people and like arguing with random people and
oh man, I missed that part. I got off that ship. I got off that ship pretty early because I noticed that the crowd was changing.
hmm
Like when he got banned off of Twitter, um, everything just went wild, man. There's like in-group shit where the one group didn't like the people in the other group, and you had to where do where do you fall? Who do you identify with? And it just struck me as really strange because the whole fucking basis of it all was, you know, seeing people as individuals, not parts of a group.
it seemed like a lot of people were just like fighting with each other to try to be his favorite.
Yeah, just the strangest goddamn situation. And he really fucking he dove right into that. It was strange. Like before he got banned off of Twitter, you could talk to him, like you could just DM him and he was like a normal person, right?
hmm
But then after that he became the God King Emperor, right? And you have to
Yeah,
go through his little peons to get contact with him.
I think all that him being deplatformed like he was and getting screwed with, I think that really messed with his head.
Oh dude, it was crazy. And then
Yeah,
that
I couldn't imagine
Yimmer
what that would
shit.
be like. That would suck, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of feel bad for him and I do, I miss the whole when it was good. But that's how it is with everything, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, his comedy was really funny.
Yeah, man. That one joke about what is that joke about? It was like men and women and
Oh yeah, how to watch TV without getting murdered.
yeah, yeah. Or like the piano music of what a girl hears inside her head and it's like doo 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 doo.
Yeah,
And then it goes to a guy and it's just carnival circus music.
yeah. How does glue not stick to the inside of the bottle? You know.
Exactly, man. It was just funny back in the day.
Yeah, I love that meme where it's like the guy and the girl lying in bed, and she's looking back at him, and it's always like, I wonder why he's not talking to me. I wonder if he's mad at me or something like that. And then it's like the guy's thinking, like the bubble in his head, he's like, well, shorts are like half as long as pants, so why don't they cost half as much? It's always something stupid, or like my motorcycle won't start. I wonder why.
Yeah. Fucking or do fish think they're wet? Just some of the most pointless, inane.
Yeah, I love that one joke, that one bit he did with the L's or
Yeah.
the L's, the G's, the B's, and the T's. The one
By
that
the time it got to P, everybody L and G was like, let's get the fuck out of here.
yeah. It's like, hey, let's cut our off. Whoa, 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 whoa. Uh, yeah, and then Chappelle basically ripped that joke off.
Did he?
Yeah,
Huh.
because I sent that. I found that bit. I was telling my buddy of mine at work about that, and I sent it to him. And I was like, "Yeah, Owen Benjamin did this joke like a couple years ago." And he walks up. He was like, "Yeah, I watched that video. Yeah, he totally ripped that joke off." He's like, "It's about 95% the same joke."
That's crazy. Uh, I mean, who knows?
Yeah,
Maybe somebody just heard it and they were spreading it, or
well, concepts are similar.
convergence. Two
Yeah,
people think the same shit.
yeah. It's kind of like music. You know, every note's been played already, so
Yeah,
there's going to be some similarities. It's like, you ever heard of the band Greta Van Fleet?
yeah. I've heard of them. I don't think I could name a song.
Dude, they're awesome. They're awesome. Um, but they catch a lot of shit for sounding like Led Zeppelin. And I'm like, they're not. Yeah, I was like, yeah, you could definitely tell that influence, I guess, but they don't sound just like them. And I was like, but I remember people talking about Led Zeppelin catching shit for sounding like other people too when they were new. So I was like, it sounds good. Just enjoy it or don't.
Music. It's crazy how that everything's a perspective, right? You could love a song and then somebody else hears it and they're like, that is garbage.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know,
it's all subjective. But I think people always, I think that's one thing about social media is like everyone wants to be a freaking scholar.
big brain.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like, especially like on Twitter, you see like those guys that try to use all the big words, all the $5 words, and like it's like you're not smart. You're just an asshole because nothing you're saying is making sense. And they're like, well, what I think, and it's like, I had to mute that shit.
Dude, my favorite example of those fucking people is the flat earthers.
Yeah. Or whoever like Jared's getting in an argument with.
He sure does find the people to fight.
Dude, it's hilarious.
It's
I think
funny.
that's his hobby.
He really picks them though. Like every
He
time
does.
it's somebody that's so fucking retarded they don't realize that they're the retard.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's gold
Yeah.
every time. I'm like, where do you find these people? He's like, it's a gift.
They're drawn to him.
Yeah, yeah. He'll find someone with like 5 followers and just lay into.
No fucks to give.
No. Behold my field of fucks and see that it is barren.
Absolutely. I saw actually there was this ad on the blacksmithing, and this guy had made like it's just a strip of metal, and he stamped the word "fuck" in, and you could break off a fuck and give somebody a fuck, like a little fuck token.
That's funny.
That was pretty funny. That's a good idea. That's a good way to make money, just with a strip of metal. Like it's
Yeah.
pretty much worthless, but
Just make
can
some
you?
kitschy stuff with it and it's like a joke, like an inside joke.
Well, that I think everybody gives. I mean, not gives, understands.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's just like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Or I guess not an inside joke. Yeah, it's better than a joke that everyone gets. But it's like, what's you hand somebody what's that? What the fuck?
Here's a fuck to give.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I got it. Yeah, haha. What about um you still making bows like long bows and stuff?
Well, I mean, that was way back in the day, and I made that one out of poly. It was plastic, those PVC tubes.
Yeah,
I just shaped it with a heat gun. Probably cut like 5 years off my life with off-gas plastic shit, but it was pretty slick. It worked really well. I couldn't believe it. It was really easy, man. Um,
that's neat.
yeah, you kind of shape the the tube to have like a flat side so that the part you pull has the circle and the front is kind of more flat,
Yeah,
and that's how you get like the the strength and the structure. And
right.
then pretty much all you got to do is you get a clamp and you clamp the ends, and then you cut them at an angle, and that's your nocks. And put a handle on it and you're pretty much ready to rock.
That's pretty cool. If I had to depend on hunting with a bow, I'd starve to death.
Oh, me too, for sure. I mean, especially now after my injury, right? I can't be go tromping through the woods.
Yeah.
No, I need a pretty ridiculously decent rifle at this point.
Yeah, there's yeah, Canada is kind of funny about that stuff, huh?
I mean, you just need a possession license and then you can get a rifle.
Hmm.
I mean, we actually have kind of confusing gun laws because in America it's illegal to have a sawed-off shotgun, right?
Right.
We can have one. It's just a restricted weapon, and then you get your restricted. Well, I mean, it's kind of pointless because a restricted weapon, you have to only shoot it at a range, and you're only allowed to take it out of your gun safe if you notify the RCMP of where you're taking it, when you're going to be taking it, and like you have to have it in a gun safe all the time, separated from the ammo, and like at that point, what the fuck's the point of a sawed-off shotgun?
Yeah, sounds very British.
It's very, very strange here. We have just, yeah, British is a good way to describe it. Although Britain is so much more fucked.
Yeah, they're. It seems like they're down the road. You guys are somewhere in the middle, and we're trying to catch up
It's
with all the fuckery.
it's so fucking weird to watch Americans bitch about their gun freedoms in Canada. Like I don't understand. I mean, I get it. You don't want to go down the slippery slope, but it, I look at America and I'm like, well, there's the ideal. That's what we should have. We should be free, you know, to defend against the tyrannical government. Because, god damn it, look at what my government is doing.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
But what's weird, and I don't know if this has changed, but so like semi-auto AKs are banned in Canada, right?
yeah, they're illegal. Although I have shot one.
Yeah, but you can have a VZ58.
See, we're going into kind of like gun nerd territory, which I
Uh,
wish that I could, I wish I understood, but I'm just kind of a casual.
yeah, because like I own a VZ58, which is just a Czechoslovakian rifle. Basically, when the Soviets took over, well, it was Russia, and they went in, and the I guess Czechoslovakia didn't really. I guess it didn't exist then. I don't know. They're like, you're going to use the AK, and they're like, no, we'll just make our own stuff, but leave the ammo. And so they did. So they kind of made their own rifle. So um, Canada was like the only place that I could find aftermarket parts for.
That's strange, man.
Yeah.
I gotta take my glasses off. Fucking the headphones push the arms in your ears, and after a while,
Hey, pups. Oh,
um, so enlighten me. Uh, what should I get for a really, really decent long range but good utility? Like, I was thinking, I want it to be 7.62, obviously, right?
okay. Like caliber what? Yeah, okay. It's like
NATO
30,
round.
like 30. Okay, 308. Okay.
Um, and
Or 7.62 by 51. Yeah.
sure, yeah, and it needs to have a good scope, and it needs to have stopping power to take down a moose.
Hmm. I guess 308 could do that. But moose are big as hell.
Dude, it's ridiculous.
What, they about 7 feet at the shoulder and about 1,500 pounds.
That's probably a small one.
Yeah, you might want something bigger.
But then again, like if it's that big and you shoot a deer with it, are you even gonna have any deer left?
I guess it depends on the loading too. Um, I mean, I like lever action rifles.
I agree with that. I was
Yeah,
looking at
like
4570 lever
yeah,
action.
that's about to say yeah, like a good like a Winchester or a Henry.
Classic.
Henry, yeah. You can scope the what am I thinking? 30-30. Lever action at 30-30. That's a pretty good round. At 30-30 has killed a bunch of shit.
And it's
Yeah.
the kind of round that doesn't get deflected by hidden branches and shit, right?
No, not really.
It just keeps going.
Yeah, but then you got like 45-70, and they have lighter rounds for that, and then they make pretty heavy rounds too. Sorry, both my dogs came in here and
Hey, don't
they
worry, man. This is
it's
just a
like
good chat.
yeah, it's like puppy jujitsu in the floor.
Having a wrestle.
Yeah, the pity and the Shih Tzu.
That's a hilarious combo.
Oh yeah, and they always want to mess with each other. Hold on a second.
Man, I wish I had headphones that weren't over ear because it is awkward being slightly blind.
Uh, yeah, I bet. Hey, you two idiots, stop it. Don't paw at me. I know you. Oh, it's the Shih Tzu is starting it too because he'll stop, and then Jack will stop, and then she dives in and bites him in the leg.
It's good that they have a friend. You know, dogs they like humans, but having another dog, that's just the best.
Yeah, they definitely have a brother sister relationship because they always screw with each other. It's always some passive aggressive bullshit between those two.
Fucking brother sister.
Yeah. Well,
My
cool.
goddamn dog is digging at the door.
Oh, she need to go out.
Nah, she's just pissed that she's locked up.
Oh,
She's
there's people downstairs.
they're upstairs, but
Oh, upstairs.
I don't fucking know. My mom's being a crazy person.
Wish I had a squirt bottle up here.
Get them. Um, hmm.
Hold on. She just got an empty bottle. Hold on.
Hey, don't worry about it, man. Don't stop her on my cord. I'm not sure if if I'm gonna have to edit this. I'm probably gonna have to edit this and get like a chunk where we're on topic.
All right. Sorry about that. I'm back.
Hey, don't worry about it, man. I'm gonna have to do a whole bunch of editing on this.
Uh, my bad.
No, no, it's not your bad. It's that's the that's kind of just the silver lining of talking to somebody about like actual personal history, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You get off on a tangent that you don't really want to blast on the internet.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. What else you want to talk about, man?
Fook, I don't know. I like uh I like the star pattern garden idea. Do
Yeah.
uh do you have any sort of indoor? But I mean, if you're in goddamn Georgia, then I don't know why you would bother growing indoors.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it's not real big where I'm at because we don't really got like we had snow this year for like the morning and it was fun. Um, took the dogs out and we played and but by 3 o'clock it was gone. That was it. Although it stays and then it was like 2 days later it was 70 degrees.
I don't know what that means. You fucking
What?
Americans and your freedom height. Well, I'll Google it. 70 degrees in.
Oh yeah, the Celsius. I don't know. It'd be like summertime.
I spend so much time. What? 21 degrees? Oh man,
Yeah,
that's warm. That's a hot day in summer.
yeah. And then it was like that for a couple days, and then it went back down to like almost freezing.
In February.
Yeah, yeah. February, weather-wise, is very bipolar. It'll be cold and hot, and like it'll be super cold, and like you'll have frost on your car when you leave for work, and then you'll come home and it'll be like yeah, like 1921 C or something like that.
70.
Yeah. So yeah, you get like 30-degree swings in the day. That's why this time of year, that's why I always sound like my nose is always stopped up because my allergies are kicking my ass.
Dude, that sounds like you need a greenhouse. So maybe we should talk about that.
Sure,
I
yeah.
mean,
I've never built one, but like my dad built his own. He loves it.
dude, you could bootstrap a really, really slick DIY. I mean, obviously, it's not going to be as beautiful as that glass greenhouse with the black bars and the nice arch, right?
I do work in a fab shop.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, yeah. I'm a machinist.
Oh, fuck. Um, well, then you have a lot of options. I mean, I was just going to go off on the double layer poly south facing passive solar greenhouse because that's something that I absolutely love. Um, like, do you have any like piece of land that has south facing sun access?
Not right now. Um, the house we're living in now, um, it's kind of an investment. Like we've kind of like flipped our way up, and the dream is to move up into the mountains and try to get, I don't know, I'd love to get like 30 acres, but it'll probably be more like 5.
Dude, that is the dream for sure. 30 acres out in the woods.
Yeah, I just don't want to be able to see anybody
Yep,
if I don't want to.
I hear that. I that's my dream too. Although I could go like if I'm talking just ridiculous, based on no reality, I would go for like a 300-acre parcel,
Oh, sure, yeah.
you know. But economically, I'm probably gonna, like you're saying, 5 acres.
Right. You can get a lot done on 5.
Oh, absolutely. It's probably more than I'd ever really need unless I've got like a big old tractor.
Yeah. Well, I was I forget the magazine I was reading, but it was about regenerative farming, like permaculture type stuff. And it was this couple, and they live like on an acre and a half, and their like mini farm is like an acre, and they're making like 200 grand a year.
Oh man, it's super possible. I have you heard of Curtis Stone?
His name sounds familiar, but I'm not.
He does a lot of urban farming where he goes around like in a suburb and people rent out their yards to him and he turns them into a garden and then he sells the produce. So he's got like acres of farmland that he doesn't own that are scattered across the city. It's a wild setup.
Oh wow, does he just rents it from him, or do they get like a cut of the vegetables, or
Yeah, I mean,
whatever?
probably a bit of both.
Just whatever they work out.
Exactly. Yeah.
Voluntary interaction.
Uh-huh. It's the
It's
it's a
funny how that
very,
works so well.
very good example of voluntarism.
Yeah.
How did you get into all the permaculture, living soil, and all that? Because it sounds like you're a little bit deep in that.
Um. Well, usually if I get interested in something, I'll research the crap out of it, and then I'll either get tired of it and not do it, or I keep going with it.
Yeah.
But I grew up as a kid. I grew up out in the country, and we always had our own vegetable plots and stuff like that. And like, I think like I lived next to my grandparents, and my great aunt and uncle lived on the other side of them, and my great grandparents lived across the road, and they had cattle at one point, but um, probably my dad, because he'd always say, be careful what. It was always like a teachable moment. He said, "Be careful what you put on the soil, because what goes in the soil goes into the food, and that goes in your body." So I always just tried to stay away from chemicals and things like that. And I think that's what a lot of the problem is, environmental wise, is, after World War II, a lot of those factories that were making bombs um,
Turned
converted over
into
fertilizer.
herbicides, pesticides, and
Yeah,
fertilizer.
fertilizer. Because
Absolutely.
that was the same shit they were making the bombs out of. So
Yeah. The nitrogen.
um, yeah, and that just kills any sort of microbial life in the soil. And so topsoil is pretty much dead now.
Oh
Um,
yeah, that's a huge problem, man. That's why I'm super into regenerative grazing because it obviously it just seems so obvious that the thing we need to fix is the soil, right?
yeah,
We've
and
got
you put a bunch of cows on there, let them eat munch on that sweet grass. They poop, poop goes in the soil. Soil is happy.
absolutely,
Which
and I
is
mean,
like when I hear those Looney Tunes on Twitter saying cattle farming is terrible for the environment. I'm like,
I just
you've never grown a damn thing in your life.
I lose my mind when I encounter that. The fucking that just makes me so angry. It's like they're using the example of a feedlot to represent every other cattle farm.
Right. And you look at them and you're like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense coming from someone in a studio apartment in the city that's never seen a damn cow.
Yeah, they think animals come wrapped in a plastic pack.
Yeah. I was watching this video and it was like, he goes, it's like a montage video of like different characters, whatever, but it was just like this, your typical soy man bun type person. He goes, why do you have to hunt? Why don't you just get meat from the store, like where they make it? Like, yeah,
Oh,
that's kind of accurate. But
dude, I cringe so hard thinking back like 4 or 5 years of what I fucking was, man. Long haired, stupid ass looking. I remember it like fucking so clearly. I was stopping at a gas station, filling up gas, and like I'm in a busted down like piece of shit vehicle. I got like $4 to my name, right? And I look across, and the guy filling up his vehicle across the gas station from me is filling up a fucking brand new BMW, but he's got the same dipshit like hipster haircut with the fucking, looking greasy, looking unkempt, and all that. And I was like, huh. And it was right then when I was like, okay, that's the end of that. We're gonna just shave it all off, go fucking full opposite direction.
yeah. Um okay, so the farming stuff. Okay. Sorry. I'm really bad about getting off on tangents.
Hey, don't worry about it,
Um
man.
um
Shit, me too. We started this about the passive solar greenhouse and then just kind of blipped.
yeah. And I actually I got to get out of here in a minute. But yeah, it's kind of my search to learn about the regenerative farming is actually what got me studying about cannabis too, because I wanted to learn about how to build soil and do it natural and create like an ecosystem, like like on Twitter, Chandra Way,
Shudra, he's the best, man.
dude. Every time he shows pictures of his garden, I'm like, that is sick.
Enviable for sure. And he's
Yeah,
he's doing all of the things. Like he's got the fucking hugelculture, permaculture,
yeah. Like he went
fucking
out and found like a dead, like rotting tree that had like all the mushrooms and stuff on it, and buried it in his garden.
yeah, man. That's called hugelculture when you use
Yeah,
the lumber to hold the, I guess, the fungus and also the water
yeah,
because it keeps everything real moist while it's rotting away.
yeah. I'm like, that dude just built like a super highway in his garden.
For sure.
Like, and but the more I would look into it, I realized like the only people that were really talking about that were cannabis growers.
It's you're not wrong. Some of the best places I've found, like the things I've learned about it, were in growing pot areas. Like
Yeah. And I found a couple podcast on it too. Like was it Kiss Organics with Tad Hussey?
and the Growcast.
Oh yeah, dude. That guy is so awesome.
I remember you sent me that guy's link. He's got some good shit.
Yeah, it's very informative. I mean, and they go deep. Like he'll have like scientists and they'll have the breeders and like all that stuff, but like they'll have like scientists come in and talk about soil and like um um, like all like everything about that, and that was just really neat. And then I think Tad Hussey, it's a Kiss Organics, and he's got an actual store, and I think it's in Washington. But that's pretty neat too. I haven't listened to him in a while, but I think it's just KIS Organics. But he's got a website too with blog posts and stuff like that, and he's really big into um, organic farming and things like that. And I think he grew up in it. Like his parents own like they owned a nursery, like a plant nursery, and then sold it, and then he bought it back as an adult. And like,
Lucky.
yeah, so just reading up on that, and so kind of planning for the time where I can have a nice garden because
That's part of why I'm so stoked about it being legalized here because we get to be part of that whole science, you know?
oh yeah, and even if you don't, because there's so many other things you can do besides smoke it.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
you know, um, all the nutrients and things like that, still good for you.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that people are going to start figuring out. Like you put a bunch of pot leaves in a blender and not including THC, like what are those benefits? What's that going to do? Like people do wheatgrass shots.
Oh yeah, it's the same thing but better.
Well, who knows, right? We're about to find out.
Yeah, I heard I think it was on Growcast. This lady was talking about she has some sort of autoimmune disorder, and she doesn't smoke or anything like that, but she just juices the whole plant. And like I think she said she doesn't have to take the actual like medicine anymore. It's pretty neat.
I believe it, man.
Yeah.
I've got a crazy old hippie uncle that grew up, like in the middle of BC in some sort of crazy like his parents were hippies and they were all into like raw yogurt and all this
Oh
shit
yeah.
that now people are getting
Now it's
science
hip.
back up. Yeah, exactly. Now it's hip.
It's
Back then,
trendy.
back then it made you an outcast, right?
Right.
And that was his parents. So he's kind of he's balls deep in all this, and he makes these pills where he has like extracts from the roots, extracts from the stalk, extracts from
Mm-hmm.
the leaves, like the whole entire plant, and he gets all of those chemicals and medicinal things, and he microdoses one of those pills every day, and like it stops his hands from shaking and all that.
Oh yeah.
It's wild.
And a lot of that has to do with inflammation. I think there's so many things, health problems that are linked to directly to inflammation, whether it's inflammation in your brain, your gut, your heart, hands, joints, whatever. And I think that's why a lot of people say, "Oh, it's good for everything." And I'm like, "Well, it's not good directly for everything, but if what you have is inflammation related, yeah, it's going to help." Probably what would help more is find out what's causing the inflammation, but
Yeah,
and then cut that out.
you're not wrong.
Um, but I'd like to. It'll be nice when I finally get to the point where I can just grow my own vegetables too, and I don't have to go to the store and buy half rotten crap, and I don't know where it came from or what's been sprayed on it. And
Exactly. Well, I mean, you
yeah,
can do that, can't you? What's stopping you from growing your own food?
oh, nothing right now. It's just doing it.
Yeah.
Like we moved in the middle of the summer last year, so it was just way too hot, and um, it was like August when we moved in.
Dude,
So
that's so crazy to me to think that it's too hot. Like
it was like 105, 100, degrees. It was pretty smoking.
here,
But
that
just
is not a factor.
yeah. And then, but spring's coming, so I'll probably do a couple raised beds here. Um, Unfortunately, the covenants in the neighborhood don't allow for a lot, so I put up a fence so you can't what they can't see, they can't bitch about.
Why the fuck do they do that? Try to tell you what you're allowed to do where you live.
Well, I agreed to it when I moved in, so it's kind of my own fault. But
Oh, I get you.
yeah, it's like I said, it's temporary. We got like a 5 and a 10 year plan, so I can
Hey, I
test out.
mean, it
At least I
sounds
can
like a
test
good
out some
plan.
theories. At least I can test out some theories in the meantime, and so then when I go to scale, it'll be better.
It sucks though that you can't plant trees and shit, because you got to move.
Yeah, yeah, because I definitely want to plant. I would definitely want to get a couple different fruit trees going, and it'd be nice that the only thing that I need to go to the store for is just um toiletries and things, and then because I have access to a really good butcher, and like he knows where everything comes from, and he'll tell you like, oh yeah, I got this from this farm, and da 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 da. So it'll be nice to know where everything I have comes from.
Would you want to do animal livestock?
I couldn't butcher it. I'm a big softy.
Hey, fair enough.
I mean, I used to hunt and stuff, but I don't know. Post military, I just couldn't do it anymore.
I mean, I would like to say that I can understand, but that's I don't know. I'm too simple to wrap my head around that kind of depth. Um, but I don't know. I definitely want to do animal livestock.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I'd love to have like some goats and some cows and stuff. Um, Maybe not for a direct meat source, but um, just for a really good source of fertilizer would be great. And
100%.
keep grass. Keep the if it had like a nice field, keep it maintained. Because cows and goats and stuff like that keep it pretty well under control.
And they make the soil happy.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And then that fertilizer is organic too.
Man, I would want at least one cow, and I would get it so that it was one of those breeds where it's a meat cow, it's a milk cow, and it's also a draft cow, where you
Yeah,
can hook it up to a chain and pull a stump out with it.
yeah. My wife really wants a Scottish Highland cow.
Me too, man. Scottish Highlanders are the ultimate, I think, because
They're
like
just so cool looking.
they're so fucking cool looking, and also they actually produce the most meat on grass-fed pastures of pretty much any breed.
Yeah,
Like,
and the calves look like stuffed animals.
oh man, they're just the most adorable. And that big ass set of horns they got.
Dude, the bulls are huge, boy. But they wouldn't do good where I live. It's too hot.
Yeah, no, that's more my kind of
Yeah,
climate.
bird of boys.
100% Highland cattle. That's what I'm talking about, man. And their temperament is decent enough that the bull, if
They're
you
pretty
don't
chill.
exactly, if you don't castrate him, he's not gonna like turn around and murder you if you try to use him
Yeah.
as a to pull. Like, I mean, I wouldn't use a bull to pull a plow, um, because obviously I'm not really for tilling. Although I do like keyline plowing. Have you heard of that?
Huh.
Keyline, it's a instead of a plow that turns the earth over, it's like a shank that drops like 2 or 3 feet down and just rips uh, like a straight line. And then what you do is you do it like how can I describe this? You know those maps where the map has those lines at all of the like
Like that.
elevations?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The topography, man.
Yeah, topography. That's the word I was struggling to come up with there. What you do with the key line is you kind of follow the topography lines, and then as the water's running down, it falls into these key line holes, and apparently you can get it so that your land will retain like something like 400 times the water.
Okay, that would make sense instead of washing off. Or like
Exactly, yeah.
instead of having runoff, it channels it down and gives it more like surf contact time.
Absolutely. And then, your cows, they shit, and then that washes into the key line and it gets 3 feet deep.
Ooh, so
You
you
know what I
got
mean?
yeah. So yeah, I,
That's quite appealing.
I smell what you're stepping in.
I like that. I like that idea. I'll definitely be trying to use that because it seems
Yeah,
kind of like building swales, although you don't have to build a swale.
right, right. You probably like do that like what once a year or so.
I don't know. I mean, probably not more than that. It would be ridiculous if you had to do it more than that.
Yeah, because it seems like you would disrupt the soil a lot.
Yeah, yeah. And plus, I mean, what? Why would why would you have to repeat it? You know, unless
Mm,
they cave in.
yeah.
I guess it depends on your soil. If it's all real sandy and it won't hold together, then that's just kind of weird. Well, I should let you go. We've kind of rambled for a while. This is gonna be a bitch to edit.
My bad. I know I get all over the place and I get spacey sometimes.
Oh, dude,
That's why it takes me so long to edit my podcast because
I don't think it's your bad. It's I wouldn't edit it. It's just I I'm not gonna throw out those times when we're talking about like personal shit. You know, that's like I'll avoid that.
okay, that's cool. Do you have you checked out Audacity?
Yeah, I got that on here.
Okay,
I,
cool. Yeah,
yeah,
that's really fun to use and so many YouTube videos on how to. Um, it makes life pretty easy because it's free.
yeah. I mean, that's what I'll do after we end this here. I'm gonna chunk the audio together in a way that it's a coherent conversation about
Right.
um I think we're gonna stick with like the garden bits, you know.
Okay.
Try to avoid coming off as some white supremacist boogaloo
Oh yeah.
boys. You know what I mean?
Fuck white supremacy.
Fuck all of those people that fucking just they use that bullshit to try to make it seem like we can't be listened to. And then
Yeah.
instantly the argument becomes like 11 out of 10 in insanity.
Well, that's what they do. They get you to defend something that you're not, so that then you're not talking about what you want to be talking about to begin with. It's like the whole racism thing. Oh, you're racist. Why? I just said I don't like that food.
Man, it's like arguing with a woman. Fucking
Yeah.
all of a sudden you're talking about why you're mad instead of what made you mad.
Yeah, yeah. And it's just yeah.
Tricksy bastards.
Yeah. So just don't be a dick and leave me alone.
Is that so hard to understand?
Yeah, don't hurt people, don't take their stuff.
I don't know. I got into such a crazy argument with my fucking family about this shit on Christmas. Cause I don't know. It's weird in Canada, man. Cause on the one hand, I kind of like the fucking fact that, you know, our healthcare is a little bit better than yours. No offense. Um, but it's fucked that our taxes are funneled into all these channels that we can't track, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like our healthcare isn't funded by a healthcare tax. That's not a thing. There's a general payment that just goes. And if you wanted to track down where the money goes, it's all obscured and like muddied. I don't fucking know. It's all a fucked up conversation because I don't even really like single payer healthcare, but I don't know what the alternative is, right? In America, it just seems fucked.
I'd rather just keep my money and then go pay cash for healthcare.
I mean, I get that, but like,
Because
what if
I think whenever you have a third party payment system, the prices just go up because then it's not their money. They're worried about, the customer is not the one paying. So there's no incentive to be competitive cost wise.
or to even do your job? Like, that's a huge problem up here where
Yeah.
you go into the doctor and you tell them all your symptoms, and then like they give you a pat on the shoulder and they say, "Oh, you'll be okay."
Yeah.
Right? There's but I don't know. My whole like the part of this where I kind of get caught up and stuck in the mud is like 20-year-olds that are having babies, you know? Like there's no way for them to financially be prepared for that if they've got to pay like 20 grand to have a baby at a hospital. I don't know. That's kind of where I'm in the camp of supporting our crazy Canadian bullshit, because it's like the the common fund sorts that out, and there's like almost an incentive for people to have families. I don't know, man. It's fucking weird.
I think anytime you have government involved in it, it's going to muddy the waters and get weird. I think there's a doctor's office in, I think it's Oklahoma, that they went cash only, and because they didn't have to deal with insurance companies or anything, all the cost associated with that went away. So it was like, um, and they would have like, okay, so if you have a broken leg, for all the X-rays and like the set it and all that stuff, it's like $200, or you know, to get a physical, it's like $20. And the guy's like, he goes, yeah, I buy all my medicines in bulk, so it's like 2 cents a pill. He's like, so you know, what if you went to like CVS or something, it would be like $100. He's like, but for the same amount, I could do it for 10, just because I'm not having to deal with all of the bullshit.
The cartels.
Yeah, he just basically removed himself from the system, and yeah, he goes, yeah, this is what it should be. And he goes, and if they don't have the money to do it, he goes, put them on a payment plan, $20 a month. He goes, that's cheaper than them having to pay $800 a month for insurance that is going to fight them on every time they try to use it. So
Yeah. I mean, I can't wrap my head around the insurance part.
yeah, it's screwed up.
I don't even know.
Yeah, all that started back in the progressive era.
I've heard that term before, but I don't really know what it means.
Um, it was like that, like FDR, progressive left, um,
Oh, like after
expansion
World
of,
War One.
yeah. The expansion of government and things like that.
Yeah,
Um,
Social Security.
yeah, all that stuff. God, I'm trying to remember. It might have been on Tom Woods. Or no. It was Pete Quinones. It was probably sometime last year. He had someone come and like they did like the whole thing. I think it was probably like Murray Rothbard, um, his writings on the progressive era. It was really just laid it out. Like Rothbard, man, that guy was awesome. I've been listening.
I listened to an audiobook of The Anatomy of the State by Rothbard.
Yeah,
It was it was a good one, man. He's smart.
yeah, he was brilliant. But yeah, I gotta jump off here and hit the showers and go to bed.
Yeah, copy that. Thank you for burning so much time. It was great to
Yeah,
chat with you.
yeah, good to talk to you too, man.
Always enjoyable. Uh, like way back in the old days.
Yeah, yep.
All right, man. Have a good night.
All right, you too, brother.
Later.
Later.